here before, but it's nice to meet you, Bobbie. My father's told me a lot about you. So.
Okay, the China syndrome really is off like a rocket.
Sure is, with our help and the help of a lot of other people, it looks like, but we've had a tremendous amount of publicity already.
Michael, you surely must have anticipated that some of the power companies would get very vocal when they heard about the film or saw it. Now, GE, of course, it seems to be the first one to speak out. Have they seen the film?
No. I mean, we did expect some, probably, vocal outcry statements, but nobody's seen the film yet, so it's sort of amazing, and we're a little bit surprised. At the same time, the publicity doesn't hurt.
Do you think that they have the feeling, maybe even if they haven't seen it, that perhaps they are portrayed as the heavies and that's what they're objecting to?
It might be, but I think it would be foolish of them to take anything as personal as that. I mean, it's been said before, but we really wanted to make a thriller film, and we made, I think, a pretty good thriller, judging from the reaction in the last 30, 45 minutes of the film. And I just think, because I guess of current event news and what's going on, that they're slightly sensitive on the issue and the area, but I would have thought that it would have been in their best interest to see the film first before they made such a dramatic move.
Did you actually film in some nuclear power plant?
No, our film is a combination of the magic of Hollywood. It's a set, some of it is painted mats, there's actually nothing there. Other parts of it are interiors of existing gas-burning, oil-burning power plants. It's a combination of all of them. Now, I've been fascinated with all this attention. It reminded me of when I was trying to do Cuckoo's Nest, and to get the cooperation of a mental hospital. And we'd go in all the hospitals and say, well, this is a condemnation of mental health programs and mental hospitals in general. Then finally, one person came up and said, well, no, this is pictures as a metaphor. I mean, the hospital is about a picture about an individual in society against the background of this hospital. That was what the book was about, and that's what the China syndrome is about. And we just picked the kind of most dramatic backgrounds that we could, both the nuclear power plant for Jack Lemmon, and with Jane Fonda, her whole background of a TV news reporter and all the excitement that goes on behind the scenes, and then kind of combining them together for this climactic finish.
Michael, do you have a stand on nuclear power?
I didn't have a stand when the picture began, which I guess is unusual, because it's becoming one of those issues. It's almost like the Vietnam War was. I mean, you cannot be in the middle. You have to be either pro or anti. So I didn't, I mean, now I'm doing a large amount of homework and research for the film to give us a kind of background in the China syndrome that we had to have. You know, I've come to a position now where I think we should be investigating alternative means of power. But that's nothing new. I think people even involved in the nuclear field realize it's somewhat of a stopgap measure, and then we have to find alternate sources. So I guess that's where I stand now.
Michael, recently Cuckoo's Nest was on television.
Yeah.
Did you watch it on TV?
I did. Yes.
What was your reaction to the way it was presented?
Well, it's always, particularly a film that had the amount of language that picture did, that had to be edited out for television. It's not the same as seeing it in a movie theater. However, I thought we worked hard on the TV version, and for the amount that had to be cut out or bleeped, it worked out well. And with the commercial breaks, it was fine, and brought back a lot of good memories.
Were you disappointed that they put it against the other two blockbusters?
I was only disappointed, not for people seeing it. I was disappointed for television viewers that with the somewhat limited amount of good material on television, that here were 3 shows that I'm sure most of the television audience would have loved to have seen any one of them, and here they were forced to have to make a decision because it was sweep week for ratings. So I felt sorry for television viewers for that, and wished that they were put on, because all of the shows were valuable and should have been seen. without having to be cut up like that.
Of course, the rich folk could put them on their Betamaxes or their
True.
video
I mean,
recorders.
It's a big commercial for those, yeah.
Michael, as a producer, how do you feel about video recorders? Are you worried that you're going to be ripped off and it's going to cut into your pocketbook?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm worried to an extent. I just think that what they have to do is start finding some way of licensing and controlling the cassettes so that you should be able to sell the cassettes or these discs like you would buy a record, so that you would be able to have. Yeah, it's reaching, you know, sort of big proportions now with the amount of pay TV or cable stations that are on, and where you can record the movie in your home and you have it, you know, you have it forever. It's going to hurt the amount of like reissue and reruns of films. Yeah, I'm concerned.
How could they possibly, though I've given this a lot of thought, how could they possibly control it? Because if you can sell the machine, then you've got to sell the tape.
Yeah.
So, you know, really, how could it be done?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I think that there, with the kind of, that there's a way that you could probably transmit a beam, right, that would allow you, let's say on pay television, which would allow you to see your movie on your television set. But if you try to plug it in to transmit from the television set onto your video recorder, it would erase it. And I think would be one possible way of doing it.
But what about, like, when Cuckoo's Nest was on TV? What about just taking it, I mean, just on the network?
Well, I think even in the network, there may be a way of transmitting through the airways some beam that would eliminate anybody trying to take that show and record it on another instrument. In other words, anytime someone stuck an outlet into their television set, right, that would allow transmission on another machine, it would erase the picture.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what
That'll give you
happens.
something to think about in between flaps with GE and so forth.
Right.
Okay. Michael, it's been nice having a chance to talk with you.
Thank you very much, Bobbie. Nice to talk with you.
It's a hot issue, you know.
Yeah.
This. Have the GE people actually seen the film yet? Michael, as a producer, you must have some interest in video home recorders and the ripoff that some people are actually perpetrating, in that taking cassettes and selling them for a profit and so forth. What do you think about that?
More money.
Okay.
I think Jane and John Voight, I think heaven can wait.